Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, joined by my beautiful wife of 8 years, Tina.
Hola.
Hooray!
Hey, 8 years.
Yeah, 8 years this past, a week ago?
A week ago today, yeah.
Yeesh.
8 years and
About
1
a
week.
week ago. Sorry.
Joining
I was
us,
about to
via,
say, like, go. No, okay.
joining us via Skype call, and their photos are probably popping up right here. We got Mike.
I'm Mike. God, this is 2020.
And we got Tommy.
I'm Tommy, and how in the hell is it still 2020? It's been 2020 for... I increase it every week, but it's been 2020 for 10 years now.
Maybe I need to
30
Maybe I need to stop saying it in the.
Can we skip?
Maybe that's what I need.
Can we just fast forward to 2021 already?
That's fine, I guess. I mean, the funny part is, like, when 9/11 happened, I thought, you know what? This is the event my kids will ask me about if I have any.
Yeah. For sure.
Nope, there's more.
2020 is
But
the event
yet,
my
no,
grandkids
stop, there's
might
more.
ask me about it. Yeah, so
But
you know.
stop,
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah.
more.
So
2020 is going to be the year my nieces and nephews remember.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's crazy.
We can totally say that we are the generation that survived like 20 million like end of the world scenarios.
we ain't survived it yet.
From 2012 to this year, we survived all this crap. Like,
Yeah.
bro.
Well, you can chat with us about all this crap at CCG_WrestleCast on Twitter. You're watching us on the
That was
Countdown
an
City
amazing
Geeks YouTube
transition.
channel. We're going to talk about
Perfect.
wrestling on this episode, specifically a preview of NXT Takeover In Your House. Yes,
In Your House is
In
back.
Your House is back.
Wait, in my house?
In our house? This house?
In our
Yes,
house?
they are
As
wrestling.
long as they're
right
not
now.
giving away a house again, right?
I don't think I
So,
got space for that. They're gonna make a mess.
Yeah.
And if they don't have the house as the entrance like they used to,
They better.
they're missing out.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a full sale, so hopefully they do something with no fans, right?
Is it in somebody's house?
That would be crazy.
Yes.
A volunteer's
I
house.
was
Is
love
it?
it in your house, in
Is it
someone's
like
house.
house party? Because I loved
Dude.
house party.
Dude.
Yes.
Old
With
school.
social distancing.
Oh,
Hidden
that's
play.
that's not gonna.
That was still a pretty good movie,
Yeah.
though.
yeah.
Before we get into previewing NXT TakeOver In Your House, obviously there's a lot going on in the world right now, especially in the United States. There's things happening that, for me personally, I only thought I would only ever see in a history book and not ever again. But sadly,
Yeah.
yes, as history major, I should know history repeats itself. Obviously, we're talking about the protests related to the passing of George Floyd, right? That's just,
Yes.
sorry,
Yeah,
I'm blanking out here.
yeah.
It's been a long day. Majority of us have seen the video. It's tough to watch. It's sad. It's horrible. It's a horrible tragedy, and this has sparked a lot of peaceful protest, some agitators who are rioting, some people in white supremacist groups and possibly even police officers who are setting this up to make the protesters look bad. Whatever your side on it,
Yeah.
as a content creator on YouTube, we do a wrestling show, and we'd be remiss if we didn't address this on some level. Now, there are 4 of us on this show. I am allowing anybody who would like to address it, say what they want in their own words. You don't have to say anything. You can be as long or as short as you would like to address what is going on in the world. Gentlemen and beautiful lady, the floor is yours.
You might want to go first because I can go last.
Let's go for it, Tommy. Go for it.
No, he said he wanted to go last.
Oh.
I can go last, though. If you guys
If you want to, yeah.
Okay.
I guess I could start. I will say this, like I mentioned, I'm a history major, and I've seen, growing up, you see the videos during the civil rights movement, the fire hoses put on black protesters during the marches, all those things. I remember the Rodney King riots in LA. It was the first time I was ever, I guess, exposed to that sort of thing, seen it on TV, and it's just crazy to think. You think that stuff is in the past. It's a different town. It'll never affect me. What was difficult for me personally was last Friday night. My cousin's wife posted a picture of them praying because my cousin is a trooper for the state trooper for the Texas Department of Public Safety. Wears the Texas tan proudly. And they live a little bit outside Houston, and they were called to go assist with the Houston protesters and the riots there. And it was tough to see that picture because I'm very close to my cousin, and he's praying with his family, and you're wondering if Dad goes out for his job, is he going to come home? And thankfully he did. They restored peace and everything's all right. But I feel for everybody. I feel for the protesters. I feel for the Black Lives Matter. I do support that. I feel for anyone who's ever been affected by racism on any level, because I myself have been as well. But most of all, though, I know this is hard to say this. Not every cop out there is a bad cop. And unfortunately, it only takes a few out there to make the rest of them look horrible. And what I worry about for my cousin, who's a great cop, and I've a lot of family and friends that are probably in the armed forces. We have a family member as well, or he's retired, but still, they're caught in the middle of it. And I just hope that everyone on some level is safe. I hope the protests stay peaceful. And for the rioters, people that are instigating this, just stop. Whether you're doing this to push some agenda you have, violence is never the answer. And I really hope there is justice for George Floyd. I know the autopsy stuff is coming out. The main cop has been arrested, which begs the question, how are you still a police officer if you have 18 complaints against you? That bothers me. The hardest part about this also for me has been yesterday, the kids were at home with me. I believe you were out grocery shopping. I'm not sure. Yeah. Shopping. And I'm fixing a thermostat like I normally do. The kids are watching Nick Jr. and the TV goes silent and I'm not paying attention. And after a couple minutes, my daughter turns to me and says, "Daddy, I think the TV's broken." And I figure the sound's going out. I'm not watching. I was like, okay, let me see what's going on. And I go over there and there's a message playing. I go, "Sweetie, it's not broken." I put the picture up of the message right here. For those that aren't aware, I'm not. A lot of people are mad that kids are exposed to this, but no. My daughter is 6, just turned 6. My son is 3. He may never remember this. My daughter will. Her kindergarten year, and she's having to go through a lot so far. But I had to explain to her what is going on in the world, and all I said is there are a lot of bad things happening. And I read exactly what this note was because she still has trouble reading English. Basically, the message, if you're not aware, Nickelodeon's going off the air for 8 minutes, 46 seconds in support of justice, equality, and human rights. And then they had the Nickelodeon Declaration of Kids' Rights, which I remember from when I was a kid. I think they posted this years ago. You have the right to be seen, heard, and respected as a citizen of the world. You have the right to a world that is peaceful. You have the right to be treated with equality regardless of the color of your skin. You have the right to be protected from harm, injustice, and hatred. You have the right to an education that prepares you to run the world. You have the right to your opinions and feelings, even if others don't agree with them. And maybe to a 6-year-old that may not mean a lot, but I think to adults that means a lot more, because you have to think that your actions and your words are affecting your kids and your grandkids, your future generations. This is the world you're setting up for them. And I personally want them to live in a world where they can be seen and respected, regardless of the color of their skin, where they have the right to a world that is peaceful, treated equally, where their rights are protected, they have a right to an education and to be anything they want to be in this world, and the right to their opinions and feelings, especially in the age of social media. So I applaud you, Nickelodeon. I think you said Disney put something up as well. I didn't see that, but I have no problem explaining this to a 6-year-old because this is another dark point in our history, and I really hope for the best. I hope that we find peace, we find justice, and that everything does get better, because this year has been pretty jacked up as it is. So
yeah.
All right.
To go off of you, my main thing is, as a parent, I want to make sure that my kids, for example, racism is taught early age, and I don't want my kids to know anything about that. I want them to know that everybody is equal, no matter what they are, the color of their skin, their religion, their race, their sexual orientation, whatever. And I can, it's like, for example, being that this is a wrestling show, Brie Bella actually put something up, and I agree with it. She basically said, like, I will just kind of shorten it a little bit, but kids aren't born racist, they learn it. It's our duty as parents to teach our children that we are all the same. No matter our skin, race, religion, we are all equal. As a mother, my heart breaks to see the innocent lives lost to racism. I'm so sorry you have to go through this, everyone. I was raised to believe we were all the same, to love one another and to rejoice in everyone's differences. I'm teaching my daughter the same. Parents, please start to teach your children the same so these acts of violence can come to an end. And that, to me, as a parent, is very important. I want to make sure my daughter understands that no matter if how a kid looks, as long as they have a good heart and you have a good heart, that's all that matters.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. We say that as parents, we're wearing Mom and Dad 316 shirts, so thank you.
Yeah.
Mike, Tommy, anything? Mike, do you want to say anything before Tommy addresses his
Yeah,
words?
I'll go real quick and let him finish it off. I mean, I want to try to keep this with, free of politics as much as possible. Growing up here in the South in San Antonio, I think it's fair to say it was a rather conservative upbringing where San Antonio in general has been a rather conservative town. And we were raised to respect the authority figures, the police, firemen, things like that. And for the most part, I always have, and I still do. So it's disheartening to see. And like you said earlier, I remember being a kid during the Rodney King, the LA riots in '92, and not being able to understand, why they could do what they did. And all these years later as an adult, there's too many things that you see that I just don't get it. It's clear that some of these people just have a hatred in them for a different group of people. And like you said, and I said earlier in some other things, it's not all of them, but it's enough of them. I like we've said too, we're Hispanic, but we're not black. We don't have the same experiences as black people. We have some of our own
Stereotypes.
But to just see some of the things that happen, and to see some of the things that are happening to the people trying to protest. Yes, I do believe there's agitators and people trying to work counter to, the purpose of the protest to make it look bad. And I think it's also, we got to be honest to say, there's probably some minorities and people involved in the looting and the acting bad. I've lived in San Antonio long enough to feel like I know there's people that would take advantage of situations like that to try and loot, and like they did a couple of days ago downtown San Antonio. Mm-hmm. But the majority of that and the majority of the people are just trying to vent their frustration for what's going on, and it's sad to see some of the way that they're being treated and reacted. And it's really disheartening. It shouldn't be about political side or stance. Like, we're all human beings. People just want to be treated like human beings. With my conservative upbringing in, JC, we got educated by Marianists, and, a part of the Catholic Church. And that was from my childhood too, even before a Central. And key to that, through all of that, was just, we're all human beings. We should treat each other like it and treat each other with love and respect. And it's okay to have differences, but some of the things you see and some of the things going on, you just can't tolerate. So I really hope we can find some leaders in this that will try to unite this country. I don't think certain people at the top are trying to do that right now. But hopefully there's other voices and other people that can step up. Those that have done these acts of violence need to be brought to justice and pay the price for it. And, we need to get to a place where people don't feel like they're being oppressed like that. I mean, some of the stuff I've seen on the news the last few days is stuff you think about when you look at countries that we've called evil for years. Yeah. It's not something you think you're going to see in America, and there it is. So it's sad and it's frightening, and I hope we can find ways to bring peaceful endings to it. There's been a lot of good things. There's been people trying to clean up the mess. There's been, people just trying to sit there and protest and helping each other out. And I hope we can focus on that. But, there are definitely some things that need to change. And I hope we can live long enough to see those things at least start to take effect. So here's hoping.
Well said, Mike.
Thank you.
Tommy?
Yeah. I've always considered myself a student of civil rights and Black history. So the sad part about all this for me is that it's not entirely shocking. It's just not. A corrupt officer killing a Black guy, not that shocking. Black people trying to protest peacefully and people trying to take advantage of that, not that shocking. A political leader of any stage, not really helping the case in any way, shape, or form. Not that shocking. I think, and what I've been telling people is, I think why this is so different is because you can only have so many cases build up before it explodes. Mm-hmm. Which is why, into keeping it wrestling, when guys like Jackson Riker post what he posted, not that it wasn't the most insensitive thing ever. It really wasn't. I mean, yeah, I think it was stupid, but it's nothing to like ruin his career over. To me, it's really not. I've seen much worse. I read worse from Linda Hogan just a few minutes ago. That's much worse. I mean, yeah, I don't agree with what he said, and I think he's wrong, but I don't think it's something that like ruined his career over. I honestly don't. But this is one of those times where you got to be really careful because people are just tired of it, and you can only get pushed so far. And to me, this is the kind of the same thing that happened, which is why we got guys like Malcolm X. This is why we got Martin Luther King Jr. Because it is why we got guys like Muhammad Ali, who used his own platform to protest and everything in his own way. You hit a limit. You hit an absolute limit with what you're going to take, and then people start reacting. The looting, the attacking, the destroying of property, that's not right. I fully agree with that. That's not right. But that's not what people who really mean this was trying to do. I read something about a veteran Black officer who was killed in these riots. That's not right. That's not, but see, the thing is though, that's also not what anyone's trying to do, except for the people who want to cause trouble, who want things to get worse, and they're going to get worse when they get better. There's no getting two ways about that. But that's not what the point of the protests are. The point of the protests is to say this has happened to, and you can find it. There's a list of African American people who have been killed in some way, shape, or form for essentially doing nothing but existing while Black, living while Black. They are walking while Black, driving while Black, sitting in their house while Black, and that's the crime they're guilty of. And I also think that it's like when people bring up the argument, like you guys said, of other races, people who are other minority groups, Hispanic, Mexican, Asian, Native American, all that stuff, and yeah, that's true. Historically, all that has sucked. The reason why for Black folks it feels personal for us is, for the most part, we didn't come here voluntarily. That's actually the biggest thing for us is like 1619. We just kind of like said, hey, you guys are kind of like the latest appliance we're going to own now. And then when we were quote unquote freed, that was the biggest air quotes in human history, because that just meant you're still not as important as everybody else, but we kind of have to pay you now. And pay being the most minimal sense of the word ever. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a lot of people have their gripes. A lot of the members have their gripes, and I don't think anyone's saying that they don't. But for us in particular, it's always felt like, because I'll put it to you this way. My uncle and my cousin were both police officers. But before that, my uncle and my dad both served in Vietnam. My dad did 2 tours, my uncle did 4. Did several tours in Vietnam, fought for what they want. They essentially they were fighting for what they wanted this country to be, not what it was at the time or even now. And see, that's always been the history of Black people in America. Guys who have been like the Buffalo Soldiers, I think, Tuskegee Airmen, guys like that. No, none of them were fighting for what the country was at the time. They were fighting for what it could be, and still could be. There's no reason why it can't be, except for certain people who don't want it to be. I don't believe everyone who supports the current president is a bad person. I just don't. Some people just have their own system, their own way of seeing government and everything like that. So, because I have personal friends who support the guy. No, whatever. My thing is that it's not about supporting this political party or that political party, because I really don't consider myself either or, like Republican or Democrat. I've never felt that way in one way, shape, or form or another. I think this is not a political issue anymore. It's a human rights issue. And you can tell it's a human rights issue when other countries, who it virtually has nothing to do with, have been protesting as well. Like, if you look at the news, there have been other countries, there have been other peaceful protests who have gone out and protested in front of American consulates, American embassies, along with the other protests. Mm-hmm. Are there people who are going to take advantage of this? Yeah, because everyone does. There is not one good cause in human history someone did not take advantage of for their own gain. Not one. Are there? Is it going to continue in some way, shape, or form? Probably. You're never going to completely eliminate racism, unfortunately, but you can change how we approach it. You can change how we deal with it. And I think, honestly, as sad as this is, it's really nowhere near as bad now as it could be, because the protesting is actually making a difference. Someone was actually arrested. There's actually people listening. There's actually people who used to never care actually saying, we can see it now. Mm-hmm. So, are things bad? Yeah. Could they be worse? Absolutely. But do I still think that there's hope at the end of this and there's light at the end of the tunnel? I gotta be honest, I see it. Maybe we won't get there in our lifetimes, as sad as that may be. Mm-hmm. But I said this before in another video that I posted on my channel. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. No one saw 2020 coming.
Gosh.
No.
But there's no but that on the flip side, that doesn't mean things couldn't get better tomorrow, and they could. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. Tomorrow's another day, and personally, I keep living for tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Tina, for everybody's thoughts.
Yeah, man.
Just to piggyback on, like, one thing you said that really struck me is that there's people now who 4 years ago didn't understand why Colin Kaepernick was kneeling.
Yeah.
And now they get it.
Yeah.
So that's one.
I've seen some of that.
Yeah.
So many people get that now.
Yeah.
And I've seen all those pictures of it was like 20 different pictures of different countries just like protesting, and I was like, oh wow, like that's awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing to see.
My whole Instagram today was blacked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine too, for the most part.
It was really cool to see, actually.
Hopefully this makes everything better for everybody. That's the hope. And we all
like I said, things could change for the better tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's hope.
Yeah.
Wrong. Murder Hornets.
I hold on to hope.
The Murder Hornets.
The Murder Hornets.
Hey.
No.
Before we start, I gotta tell you guys a joke about that. A friend of mine on Facebook said, "Gee, I hope the Murder Hornets are okay. I haven't heard anything about them recently. I hope they're doing all right." Oh my god, dude.
I like the other one that was like, "What happened to the Murder Hornets?" Oh, that was just a filler episode.
Yeah.
And thank you to those. And thank you to those who were protesting with a mask on.
Yes, because COVID-19.
And the ones who
still
weren't,
not
I'm
going
like,
away.
oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of forgot about that, but
We forgot all about that,
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, we will get into some wrestling talk.
Yay!
Yes. As we mentioned at the top of the show, In Your House is back. NXT Takeover In Your House is this Sunday. There are 5 matches on the card, and quite frankly, This is hard to pick.
Oh my God, yes.
This is difficult to pick, and that's
I'm quite torn.
this is the beauty of NXT is that these can go any way and it'll still be good. So, there's a lot to talk about. Some pay-per-view debuts, but what's cool to see is this will be back in Full Sail, albeit without fans. So yes, we hope there's a whole house set up as you mentioned earlier on the show. So, we'll start this off with Tommaso Ciampa taking on Karrion Kross, who will be accompanied by Scarlett from the Scarlett Bordeaux. Tina, do you want to make a pick here?
Yes, I'm going to, just based off of what I've read and seen, and also the whole like setting up the match was pretty cool. I'm going to go with Karrion Kross. Karrion?
Yes, his promos are insane, right?
Yes,
So-
I feel like they're pushing him. They're pushing him and Scarlett big time, and I'm here for it. And I love Ciampa, but yeah, I feel like they're giving him a push real quick, and yeah, pretty cool.
All right, Mike, what about you?
Someone said Cross is like they're starting a religion with Karrion Kross, and someone on YouTube
real?
said I'm in.
Yeah. Mike, where are you going with this?
Yeah, same here. Karrion Kross, definitely coming in, getting the big push. Tommaso's kind of in that place right now where the thing that has kind of consumed his character for the last 3 or 4 years was finally kind of brought to an end. So I think being a place here where he can kind of put over Kross and make him a big deal would do fine. And I'm sure he could come back and get us some other stuff. So.
Tommy, you going with Kross as well, or are you thinking Ciampa?
Nah, I'm gonna go Kross as well. The way they built him up and the way they had him be a legitimate threat, I think they're gonna go with that. The way they're unleashing him, I think is pretty cool. It's like they're just letting him be this complete monster, which he should be. And so I think Ciampa's been successful enough in NXT to the point where this loss would not hurt him at all. So yeah.
Yeah, same. You want to give Kross a strong takeover debut, and getting a win over Ciampa would be good. Especially with Scarlett in his corner, you never know what she's going to pull. It's a 2-on-1 thing, so how involved she'll get, we'll see. For Ciampa, though, if this is a loss for him, and with all the releases they've had, do you think there's a chance with Matt Riddle getting moved up? Do you think there's a chance they move him up?
Oh, move him! Nah, I don't
Move him up? Okay, I thought you said was released.
No.
I
mean,
I was like, dude, really?
No. Go ahead.
I mean, he's gone on record saying if they do that, he's going to retire. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I feel
Really?
like if they're gonna move a guy up, it would be Adam Cole, baby.
Baby.
We'll get to that because that's going to be a hell of a debate there, baby.
Thanks, Tommy.
Hey, I got you.
Yeah. Next match, another singles match. This is the last match with no title on the line here, but it's interesting. It's the Prince versus the Priest. Finn Balor versus Damian Priest here. Tina, I have a feeling I know where you're going. So
The Prince. Duh.
the Prince, yes, I know. Finn, of course,
Duh.
obviously.
Why did you even ask?
Just because I like seeing the smile on your face when you pick him, because you're thinking about his abs. That's why. So
I mean,
yeah. Okay.
I think anybody would. But yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had abs like that. I'm going
I mean,
with I'm going with Finn as well.
Are we still wondering who the father is between him and Seth at this point?
Wow.
Damn.
I don't know. Hey, he's married to a Hispanic woman, so I'm gonna just
No,
The point still applies. I'm kidding.
So you're saying you have a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Did anybody see the meme?
So does Randy.
So does Randy.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Go ahead, Mike.
Did anybody see the meme after the announcement with Henry Rollins, the Rock guy?
Yes.
He's like Shane McMahon. He's like, it does say Rollins on the birth certificate,
But it's Henry Rollins. I did see that.
That's good. I hadn't seen that. That's good.
Messed
I
up.
love Henry Rollins.
I thought that was good.
Tina,
awesome.
Tina not going with Finn. Tommy, where are you going with this one?
I don't know, because see, I'm thinking Finn, but I don't know if they're trying to push Priest or not. Because
It's kind of weird.
Priest has had an interesting start to NXT. It's like they push him, they don't push him. They push him, they don't push him. So it's kind of
It's like a wave.
yeah. I don't know.
Then he got stuck in that three-way with Keith Lee and Dijakovic, and
yeah.
honestly, Lee's the only one that kind of came out of that looking good. So
yeah.
Well, see, I think Priest came out of that like not looking better or worse than when he went in, and I think this whole COVID stuff kind of negated any kind of push he was getting until they knew what they were doing, you know?
Right.
So that's where it's kind of hard for me to say because
That's the other thing I read. I can't say his name. Djokovic.
Dijakovic. Oh yeah, but
Dijakovic.
He's the one they're thinking about
Moving up.
Well, yeah, I thought I heard that too.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go against the grain, and I'm gonna say Damian Priest. I'm probably
All
wrong.
right. Okay. Mike, what about you?
You never know.
I'm gonna go Finn Balor. I just
Lone Wolfing.
Oh,
Baron
yes.
Corbin.
yeah, Finn Balor. The Prince.
I don't think I've Lone Wolfed a pick in a while. That's why I'm kind of excited.
I have to look back. I'm
So you
not
gotta,
sure.
you gotta do the ow. I'm kidding.
Now on to the
I wonder if
NXT
my company said me.
North American Championship. You mentioned Keith Lee. Keith Lee is defending against Johnny Gargano. Likely will
Is
have
anyone else
Candice LeRae.
really torn with this pick?
Yes.
Yes.
This is where it gets
I'm
difficult.
so confused.
Torn
Right.
like that.
Okay.
Natalie and Bruglia.
Okay, I can. Oh, I love
Very
that song.
good.
I love
I
that
applaud
song.
that, sir.
I'm all out of it. Go ahead.
90s.
This is how I feel.
Go ahead, Tina. You can make a pick.
All right, so I'm going with Keith, and and I love Johnny Gargano. I mean, come on, man. But I feel like this match is going to steal the show. It's going to make Johnny look great, but he's going to lose, and Keith's going to keep it, and only because on paper, Keith should crush him, but in the heart of Johnny Gargano, it's going to be a good match.
In the Rebel Heart.
The Rebel
Is he still a
That's
Rebel
right.
Heart?
That's right. The
I
I
Rebel
don't know if
Heart.
he's still using that music now with his.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a heel now, and obviously with
Well, this is
Candice LeRae
this
there.
is the next season of his anime where he became the villain instead of
That's true. That's true. It's all demonic and shit. Tommy, where are you going with this one then? Who are you picking in this anime?
We should do that. We should start an anime, not finish it, and decide.
These are two anime guys when you
That's-
think about it.
that's
We
true.
both know they're both into anime. So.
Actually,
Yeah.
I've never thought of that before.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. These
Yeah.
are just two anime characters brought
Yeah.
to life.
Yep.
And for some reason, by the same guy who created Cowboy Bebop. It's the only thing I can see in my head right now.
Oh, he's still thinking.
I'm gonna go Gargano.
All right.
Okay.
I am just like
You're going against me all day. No, I'm just kidding.
it's-
Well, you pick-
Whatever Tina picks, I'm picking the other
Yeah,
guy.
right.
No, I'm kidding.
well, it's just that
I'm kidding, I'm
thinking
kidding.
For when we do New Japan
New
stuff.
Japan.
you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually good at NXT. Usually.
That's true. I should. Damn it! I didn't think of that. You are really good at NXT.
Sorry,
Damn
can't
it.
change your picks. Go ahead.
Well, too late.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know. It's been a while. It's
Mike,
been
what
a
about
while.
you?
I'm going to go with Keith Lee.
All right.
I don't have a real good reason.
At least you're honest.
It's because Tina picked, right?
Yes, hashtag match stays together.
Woo woo.
Oh my god.
Tommy, you're not lone wolfing this one. I think it's going to be a Gargano. I think Candice LeRae
Yes.
is the wild card in this.
Ah, I didn't even think about her.
So at some point she will get involved, and
Ball shot. No, I'm just kidding.
no, I don't think this is a
What's it
sign
called?
that
Nakamura.
Nakamura. Yeah, I think I can
So will
see.
be a Yim.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if that would set something up in the future, but I think Gargano could steal it somehow here.
Didn't
But
think
I don't
about
think
that.
this will be the end of the series between these two for this championship.
Nah,
all
no.
what's
I
going
don't agree
on.
with that either.
Yeah. This could go on for a good while. Now, NXT Women's Championship, a triple threat.
This is a hard one.
This is difficult. Tina, you're picking last.
I'm last.
Charlotte Flair defending
see y'all's
against
reason.
Ripley and Io Shirai. I have a feeling I know where Tommy's going, so I'm going to let Tommy
think I
go
know where I'm going to,
first.
You let me go first.
Yeah.
Io Shirai.
I
damn
had
it.
a feeling. Yes.
For crying out loud! Asuka got the Raw Women's title. Can we please give Io Shirai something? Okay. I'm good.
Yes, Asuka got the Raw Women's title. Kairi Sane got a gash above her head because Nia Jax
Jeez.
knows how
That
to injure
was
people.
Man,
That was
gnarly,
nasty.
dude.
That was nasty.
Man, it was. Oh my god.
But will Io take the women's championship? Yes, but I think she's going to pin Rhea Ripley to do it. So I don't see. I see Charlotte losing the title, but I don't see her getting pinned for it because I think Charlotte is getting back onto Raw and SmackDown. I think
Yeah.
they want to push that back in that world, if you will. Mike, where are you going with this one?
I'm actually going to go with Rhea Ripley because I think they realize that even though things got messed up, Charlotte hasn't added anything to NXT. It's not making it any more entertaining. There's no point to have her going multiple shows. And I really think they may be second guessing, kind of halting Rhea's momentum that she was getting.
We got to make sure it looks strong, damn it.
I heard that might have been due to visa issues with the COVID thing, but I don't know. Maybe if that's the truth, maybe they fixed that. So,
I mean, she's back, so.
Yep.
She's been back.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Ever since the whole thing started, they said that, she had to go back to, was it Australia? And she was like the next day or the next week posting from her house in Tampa with her boyfriend. So I was like, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I guess they fixed it.
They fixed it.
Well, I think she had to work with the visa, but I think she was able to take care of it mostly here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
So I'm going to go with Mike. I feel like the only reason they gave it to Charlotte was because of the whole problem with the visa.
Yeah.
And now they're like, we need to get Rhea back up again. And I think that Rhea is going to pin Io. Sadly.
So again, none of us, Mike, are you thinking that Rhea's going to do it by pinning Io? Like no one's going to pin Charlotte?
No, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say she avenges her WrestleMania loss and puts the pin on Flair.
I think she's going to pin Io, and then they're going to set up a third match
between just the two of them,
and she's going to beat Charlotte.
Oh, nice.
That's what I feel like they're going to do.
NXT Takeover again. We're in your house. All right.
Yes, that's right. Double shot in your house.
Beware of dog.
Beware of dog. In a trampoline match in someone's
backyard. No.
All right.
In your backyard. There we
go. In your backyard.
If it was ours, it'd be a swing set match, right? First one to swing 100 and land it.
Yeah.
All right. NXT Championship. Adam Cole, who has held the title for over a year. Yes. Hard to believe a year has passed.
This is hard.
Yes.
I really didn't know it was that long. I had no idea.
This past Sunday, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, they posted 365.
And Velveteen Dream, by the way, he held it for a full year and a leap year, by the way. Velveteen Dream, this is his last. This is his last chance for that title. If he loses, he cannot challenge for it again while Adam Cole is champion.
Makes it harder.
Big stakes here on this one.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first? Because it's not going to be me.
All right, I'm going to just say it. I'm just going to say it because I don't know for sure, but since he's already been champion for a year, I'm going to go with Velveteen Dream.
All right.
And I feel like Adam Cole's going to get moved up.
Okay.
Let's hope.
That's Tina's pick. Mike, Tommy, what do you say, you guys?
I don't know.
I just
you know what? I'm just going to have the same record as Tina. I'm going to go Velveteen Dream.
That's true. You have picked.
Did we pick all the same stuff?
Yeah.
You know what?
I think we did.
Screw it. I'm going with Tina too. Velveteen Dream.
Wow.
What are you doing, babe?
I am lone wolfing this.
Okay.
Here's why. Here's why.
Here we go.
All right.
Here we go. Here we go.
What I think about is when a lot of these NXT gimmicks get moved up to the main roster in the past, when fans are around, of course, I'm thinking about Adam Rose, some of these other outlandish gimmicks, Tyler Breeze. They don't really go over well.
Adam Cole's not that, though.
Velveteen Dream is.
Oh, that's true.
So I think Cole will retain because I don't feel like you can move up any of the Undisputed Era right now. They're great as a faction. They're great for NXT. But Velveteen Dream's gimmick right now, with no fans in the crowd, with these employees that you have surrounding the ring during Raw and SmackDown, and you want them to react the way you want, this is actually a good time to get Velveteen Dream and his character over on Raw or SmackDown. That way, when the crowd comes back and they understand what this character is about, they'll have him over. They'll probably be cheering for him. You can you have a little bit of freedom here without fans in attendance, and I think this is a good opportunity to move Velveteen Dream up to Raw or SmackDown.
Why did you go first?
Because I want to see if anybody thought of that.
I like the way you think, but there is one flaw in your plan.
Oh, here
Vince
we go.
McMahon or Stephanie McMahon?
You're talking about main roster WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
Apollo Crews just won the U.S. title, and how long has he been on the main roster?
How long has it been since a non-Hispanic won the U.S. title? Let's think about it that way.
Yeah.
Yes, think about that.
I didn't want
Apollo's not Hispanic?
What? Apollo's not Hispanic? Oh man.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. Somebody get his 23andMe.
He's got to be at least 10%.
Isn't it CRUZ? Apollo Crews?
Maybe that's his legal name. Who knows?
Oh,
all right.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, that just killed me.
Well, that is our picks for NXT TakeOver in your house. But we're not done talking about In Your House because, guys and beautiful lady, we have some In Your House trivia for y'all.
Oh, crap.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to lose.
It's been a long
Hey, wait a
time.
minute. I'm going to lose. Do you know who they are?
These
They're
might
like-
be tough.
I'm going to bomb this.
Dude, you're
guarantee
wrestling like
I do not
encyclopedias,
know
and I'm
your
like,
house trivia
meh.
You might be
at all.
surprised how many
They're in
you might
wrestling
get.
encyclopedias, and I'm meh.
I've only got a few questions. Not a lot.
All right, here we go.
It's not a lot, but this will be fun. So.
Do we have a buzzard?
No. I just want to see who can answer correctly. So.
Okay, go.
All right. In Your House is back.
I
It's
should
been
have
a
looked at
long
this
time.
paper when I had the chance.
Yeah,
Damn.
but I had kept it hidden from you because I know you.
Damn.
When was the first F In Your House?
Oh, I don't know this.
95.
5?
Yeah.
95.
95, 95.
Wait, 95? Oh, I
It
thought
was
92.
May
Okay.
14th.
What a good guess.
It was May 14th, 1995, which means they announced this NXT Takeover In Your House on the 25th anniversary of that very first In Your House.
Oh,
May
wow.
14th, 1995.
1995 was 25 years ago. Jesus Christ. Okay,
And they
now-
needed-
Nacho, you want to move?
Yeah.
And they needed 3/5 of DX to apparently do it. So.
This is true.
good point.
All right. All right. So as Mike mentioned on the last show.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm waiting for you.
Cheater.
We joked, is Todd Pattengill going to give away a house on this iteration? Because
Okay.
on the very first In Your House, he gave away a house.
What?
Yes.
I'll
They
take
gave
it.
away a house. They had people mail in. They picked a random winner on the pay-per-view, and they called him. And actually, interesting enough, when they called the first number, it was a wrong number.
Oh,
They called
my
back.
God.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
But how old was the winner of the house that they gave away that night?
Oh, God. Okay.
It was a kid, wasn't it? Like 14 or something? Or?
It was a kid. He was 11 years old.
Oh, my
11.
God.
What
Is that
the
legal?
freak?
I guess they give it to their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a kid.
I do
and-
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so they actually did caught up. There's an article on WWE.com that they caught up with him a little while later, asked what happened to the house, and they actually sold it 6 months later for $175,000. That pretty much paid for his college. So
Well,
damn.
yeah, I would have done the same.
So-
And that paid for books.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, for real.
Truth.
All right.
What college did he go to? Dang.
Prior to this year, what was the last In Your House pay-per-view?
Oh, see, again, stuff I don't know. They got to know.
Wait.
1999.
Just what was it called?
Yeah, what was it called and when was
Oh, what was it called? I don't know.
Is it?
Go ahead,
Was-
Seth.
Was it rock bottom in your house?
it? No, you're close, but no.
Was it Bad Blood?
No.
Which was it? Your mama? No, I'm just kidding.
Y'all are going to kick yourselves if you don't get this. That's funny. In your
Beware
house,
of-
in your mama, in your
Oh,
house.
was it Stampede?
No.
Not the
wait,
Canadian one.
Say the question again.
What was the last In Your House pay-per-view prior to this one?
Let's go through them. Beware of Dog.
No.
Degeneration X.
Was it?
Don't be Googling.
Was it Money in the Bank?
It was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, February 14th, 1990.
Really?
Yes.
Uh,
That was
Damn it.
technically an In Your House. That was the last one. Famous, of course, for the Steve Austin and Vince McMahon steel cage match that featured the debut of the Big Show.
Oh, nice.
Paul White, excuse
Paul White.
me.
Well, Paul White, obviously.
Big
Oh,
Show
man.
did not show up that
Yes.
day.
That was the 27th.
There are two different people. Like
Yeah.
El Generico and Sami Zayn. They're two different people.
Why would they not be two different people?
Yeah,
saying.
I don't get why everyone brings that up. Why does
Gosh,
everyone
me
make
too.
children have good
That's why I have to bring it up, because everybody brings that up. They're two different
so
people.
annoying. It's like they think they're the same person, which is stupid.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
People
so
are dumb.
that was originally just called an In Your House, and then they came up with the name later. And then after that, they decided, okay, we're just going to take the In Your House name off and then do
I
that.
can't believe I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think
I
after
had
that,
no clue.
In Your House for a while, we took the place of the pre-show, which they still called the free-for-all back then.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So that's 27 In Your House pay-per-views prior to this year. Who participated in the most main event matches at In Your House? All the In Your House pay-per-views.
Triple H.
Sean?
No.
I'm going to say Triple H.
Bret Hart.
Mm-mm.
Undertaker.
Really?
You're close. Taker was
Kane?
close. No.
Kane.
I said Undertaker close. That was Kane.
Wait, yeah, Paul Bear? What do you mean Undertaker's
Wait.
Taker had the second most. That's what I meant. Taker had the second most.
Brock Lesnar.
The Rock?
No.
John Cena.
Okay.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, damn. Oh, don't,
Really?
come on.
Yeah. He was in 11 matches, and actually 12 if you count the time he was the referee during Undertaker versus Kane, where he refused to call a winner, and then he got fired. And then they had the whole gun thing the next day on where he chased around Vince McMahon. He apparently had a gun on Raw. So.
That was Vince himself. That was funny.
It was a prop gun, which is the best part. And finally, how many In Your House events out of the 27 took place in Canada?
2.
Nope.
I'm just guessing.
I'm just throwing this out there.
1.
No.
7.
5.
5.
Oh,
There's
damn.
actually
I was
5.
close.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting enough, right? And I was actually looking this up and researching. I was like, okay, what state held the most? Believe it or not, like of the states that have hosted In Your House, no state has hosted more than twice.
Oh, wow.
It was just random.
Really?
Including New York, yeah. Including this one.
That is random.
This is only the second time Florida's had an In Your House pay-per-view. So
Oh, wow.
That is really random.
Was that all the questions?
that was all the questions I had. So,
Damn.
yeah.
And you said you'll have a chance.
Well, you might have known one of
I
them.
guessed one.
Okay, but
I
you
didn't
got
know.
it.
I didn't know any of them.
But you nailed it.
Hey, I didn't know 5. That was a total guess on my part.
Yeah. So
Still got
You
it
guys
right.
said 2,
You still got more right than me.
7,
Stop.
3,
I mean-
said 5. Screw it.
You still got more right than me. Stop.
yeah, okay. It's crazy to see In Your House back. I don't know if they're going to give away a tiny house or a mobile
Ooh,
home. Or
can I have
something.
one?
That'd be nice, right? So.
Yeah.
This is about the time that we would talk through our 1 minute warning. I know we talked a lot at the top of the show about the movement. Is there anything you guys want to talk that's wrestling related for your 1 minute warning?
I kind of wanted to talk about something last week.
Sure.
Go for it.
Connected with what we were doing, and we had mentioned it last week while we were talking about the Owen Hart thing, but I had wanted to talk a little bit more about it, but you were kind of like, I think we're good with 1 minute more, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, it was
No,
a
it's
long
okay.
show.
It's
It was a
not a
long
big
show.
deal.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, it's a big deal, JC.
Oh, it's a big deal. God
How
damn it.
dare you? I wasn't here. I'm sorry, Mike. I am sorry.
Okay.
All right. Mike, whenever you're ready, set and go.
Right. So last week we were watching where we talked about the Owen Hart, the Vice episode, Dark Side of the Ring. And one of the things we were talking about is how emotional Jim Cornette got and his reaction to it should have just been shut down. And we've talked a lot about Jim Cornette over the weeks on this show. And I guess the one thing I just wanted to say is I just find it so sad that he really could be such an asset and just has so much knowledge for the business that he could share with so many people if he just didn't respond in ways that he did to things that he didn't particularly like. The hate he spews about certain things is just unnecessary. And it's sad because he's knowledgeable. He has so much. He's experienced so much in this business. He could really help people, but he only wants to see things one certain way. I think it's a bit of him being a carny, and I usually don't like to talk about him. But it's just sad because I think people are missing out on a lot of information that they could be helpful.
All right.
So
Definitely agree with that. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
wrestling has to evolve, right? And unfortunately, some people don't want to evolve with that. So.
and you don't have to like it, but just,
No, yeah.
I mean, don't shit on it, man.
Yeah.
I guess that's always been my thing. It's like if he doesn't like certain things, that's fine. But the way you can not like something, but like still like say, well, but like especially in wrestling, it's almost exclusive for wrestling. It's like, okay, I don't like it, but it's getting over, and B, the guys who are doing it know what they're doing. Like with the Young Bucks, yeah, they like do their spots, but at least they know what they're doing. They're not doing it recklessly. They do their spots. They take care of the guys that they're hitting and everything like that. So yeah, it's like you can not like it, but like. Screw. I mean, not everybody liked ECW. It was fine. So
it got over. That's the thing.
Yep.
You get over one way or another. Joey Ryan got over, whether you like it or not. Jim Cornette. Joey Ryan's over, and he's popular. So
speaking of Joey Ryan, I do have a 1 minute warning. Now she said that.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Gosh.
All right, Tommy about to talk dick flips. Here we go. All right.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Tommy. Whenever you're ready, set, go.
Okay, first of all, dick flips are hilarious. I don't care who you are. Ever since my homie Moonshine Mantel sucked it up and was willing to take one for the team and do a dick flip, I don't care. That means none of you have excuses to not do it.
Careful with your phrasing.
Whatever. Anyway, hey, he did the spot. It's his fault now. So anyway, Joey Ryan put out a pretty cool thing. He said if any wrestlers are losing, like, or threatening to lose bookings because of their posting Black Lives Matter, he said hit him up. When this COVID stuff passes, he will have a spot for them in bar wrestling. That's just a cool thing to do. I mean,
Yeah.
I think a lot of companies who aren't trying to commit social suicide right now are not saying that, but like there are some ones who were probably saying that. And I think Faye Jackson posted, well, if they're telling you that you can't wrestle there because you say Black Lives Matter, you should probably not be wrestling for that company anyway. But I think it's just cool that, you know, someone like Joey Ryan, who is constantly controversial in one way, shape, or form or another, has said, yeah, I'm with you. And if someone else is saying you shouldn't have a job, I will give you one. You know, and I think as much crap as Joey Ryan gets, it really does speak to his character. I think he really does care about the business. I think he cares about the people in it.
Yeah.
And I think all of what he does is just to help get the business over. Yes, what he does is really silly and stupid sometimes. Mm-hmm. But he started a promotion based off of it. So who cares?
That's true. And locally, Heavy Metal Wrestling is doing pretty much the same thing.
Dylan said that too.
Darren,
love what he's saying.
Darren and HCW did the same thing.
Yeah, Darren too.
Yeah, a lot of people followed him after Joey after he said that.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
we've
cool.
interviewed Dylan on this show. I would actually love to get like a follow-up with him and with Chris and Marvel to see how they've been impacted by all of this, especially with the COVID-19 and all that stuff.
I was gonna say with COVID,
I know Hybrid is actually slowly getting back open again. They sanitize. They're very safe.
they have no contact.
No.
From what I understand.
No, at least
they
safe
do bumps and
contact.
stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, and
Like the Joey Janela match.
which yes, if you hadn't seen it, did you ever show
No.
you? I never showed you the social distancing
I
match.
think you showed it. You talked about it, but I haven't seen
I
it.
need to show it to you because Mike finally saw it and was laughing
Yeah,
his
I
ass
finally
off.
saw it. That was great.
But yeah, it was cool to see Hybrid get like a sanitizing packet from the city of San Antonio for small businesses, which was pretty cool. So, you go with yours because that I'm taking away from my money.
Okay, so mine's completely off again. Mine's again, it's being a girl. I love Total Bellas. So the cool thing about this last week's episode, and I know Tommy's laughing at me.
Mike taking the headphones off again.
Yeah, no, and JC can go with me on this one.
I'll be supportive. It's okay.
The last Total Bellas was very interesting. Bree and Bryan, also known as Daniel Bryan, were going to Sedona, and they
Arizona.
did some marriage therapy, but in a very non-traditional way. They saw a shaman from the Native Americans there, and they did some kind of ceremonial thing, which I thought was pretty cool that they even like showed it. And Bryan had this whole like
He basically had an out-of-body experience.
yes, and it was crazy to watch. And with all of the stuff that he's dealt with, depression and being injured and all that stuff, it was really cool to see him show that experience with everyone. Mm-hmm. And afterwards, it made their relationship stronger because on the show, if they've been having some problems, just being together a lot because Bree has a career and they have a kid, and it's Bryan ends up being third in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And now after that whole experience, he said like my whole outlook and everything was more clear, and I want to work on this, and they both want to work on it. And they even discussed about one time that Bryan had a really bad depression episode, and he left for 3 months, just told Bree I'm out, and he just like left for 3 months and left her alone and said I'll be back. And
that was on basically the first season of Total Bellas when they were helping Nikki
Cena.
and living with John Cena and helping Nikki with her neck injury.
And
Daniel Bryan had just recently retired.
He was just so overwhelmed. He just said,
I was going to ask the timing of that.
He was just saying, I'm leaving. And he, in the whole episode, he basically expressed, I'm sorry for making you feel like you weren't a part of my, I guess, recovery.
Yeah.
And so it was a very good episode. I mean, if you haven't, even if you don't want to watch Total Bellas or anything like that, but you want to see the whole thing about like just Bryan, that's a really good episode to go watch. So I would look for the last episode from May. Well, I don't remember the date. May 26th. No, May 20. It was Thursday. So May 28th.
May 28th, yeah.
Yeah. It was a really good episode. And
in a wrestling context,
crazy.
he finally is fully healed when you think about it. He had healed his body. Now he needs to heal his mind. And I think he finally got that. So
it was just a really cool experience to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And JC and me were like, what the heck? We're all into it. So it was really good.
Yeah.
So just,
Yeah.
little something different to, if anybody's interested, not watching the show.
All right, I'm back. What's going on?
And from what we understand,
The funny thing is,
From what we
Mike's the
understand-
first one I think that if he saw it, he'd be like, whoa, that's kind
Yeah.
of cool.
yeah.
I think he would.
And from what we understand, they got pregnant that weekend in Sedona.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Supposedly.
they didn't show that on the show. But
Yeah, no. But supposedly, Nikki
Damn.
Oh,
okay.
Nikki put it out later. He's like, you know what they created on that weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, okay, Nikki.
I had a great joke, but I'll save it for after the camera goes on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wow.
So there's only if anybody's still watching, if anybody out there is watching Total Bellas, there's only 2 more episodes left in the season.
Mike, sorry.
Just
probably
can you
wondering
just
why
turn
it's
Mike?
funny 'cause
Can you just turn his camera off for me? Thanks.
What the hell?
Look at that. Look at that. Thank you. Thank you.
And it's funny
You're
because
totally missing-
Mike's over here, so that's why I keep pointing over here at Mike.
Mike just
Hey,
put
you're
up his
totally-
Instagram post.
You're totally losing all the female artists, people, female viewers, people.
You think I ever brought the female audience in? Come on.
That's true.
Only when
That
you mention
is
Stephanie
so
McMahon.
true, Mike.
Only when you mention Stephanie McMahon.
That's true.
Mike, you can take your Instagram post down. It's okay.
I'm gonna do the rest of the show like this now.
Sounds good to me. Just kidding.
I'm just playing.
No, he's not.
How am I supposed to follow that? I just want to
can't.
spend a minute to support independent wrestling because, man, you guys have probably been hit the hardest and nobody
Yeah.
ever really talks about it. We all talked about how's New Japan going to recover? How's Impact going to get through this? How Ring of Honor going to get through this? WWE, they're fine. They got a shit ton of money even though they still fired everybody. And AEW, they're doing pretty good.
Oh,
they got
sorry.
they got a TV contract.
Oh, geez. Tommy just remembered something.
Okay. Anyway, for all the independent promotions out there, I want to say, fans, try and support them if you can.
Yes.
We're not
support
that far
them.
away. Please, if they advertise a show and they're taking appropriate measures for social distancing, and also if you feel comfortable being there, please wear a mask if possible. Go attend it. Go pay your money, because I think it's been a long time since any of us have actually seen live wrestling.
It's been a long time since we've been out the house.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and if you're an independent promotion and you're not comfortable doing that, I'll suggest one thing to you. Get a Patreon. It might not be a bad idea to run a show and put it only on Patreon, and you can make money off of fans who want to watch it if you put a good card together. Yes, it's a bit of a gamble, and it's like a small way of doing a pay-per-view. But in a way, you can have that content out there for people to watch on Patreon or any other sort of like pay for that sort of thing service. So it's an idea. I don't know what the logistics are because I'm not a wrestling promoter. But for those out there running a promotion or even running a wrestling school, it's getting better. We're almost back at that normalcy, but take your time. We're going to get there. And I do commend you for sticking this out. I know it's very difficult, especially for a lot of independent wrestlers who this is their livelihood. We're almost back. And I look forward to wrestling being back.
I like how
Also,
everybody.
to support my wife, don't forget to support your local musical artists as well. Thank you.
Yes, okay, that too.
I like how everybody went over
You're
the
welcome,
1 minute
wife.
warning today.
Everyone pretty much went over. Yeah, sorry, it happens. I mean,
We should call it
Oh.
the 5 minute warning.
jeez.
Originally, it was supposed to be the 3-minute warning, like the group, but
Yeah.
It's almost out of here. Sorry. I love that.
It's 3
But no,
man
what I- what-
band. Sorry.
What I remembered was you said having the money they fired everybody, but yet and still they can launch a free version of the WWE Network.
Yes.
Oh
They
yeah,
can
the
launch a
free
free version of the
version.
network, but they have to fire like 80 people.
Well, okay.
This is full of shit.
If you've been living under a rock and you don't know, yes, there is a free version of the WWE Network, but it does not include the live feed that is that you can watch where like they broadcast shows and pay-per-views live and all that stuff. It has
It doesn't change
some
the fact that
on-demand content, some pay-per-views, and Raw and SmackDown, which they can't post to the network until 30 days after they originally air, part of their TV contract. So there is some things you can sample, basically. It's basically a sample version of the WWE Network. It's not the full thing. Worth checking out if you're still on the fence. I don't know why you would be for getting WWE Network.
Yeah, because you either want it or you don't.
Yeah, but
at this point.
take advantage of it now. Get some looks at it. But if you want to watch pay-per-views, you still got to sign up for the full free trial or the $9.99 a month. So, and if you sign up for that free trial, you get a month free. And you get to watch NXT TakeOver in your house. It's this Sunday, June 7th at 6 p.m. Central Time. The kickoff show is at 5:30. We think it usually is 30 minutes beforehand. As mentioned, it's from Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. This is actually the first time since June of 2016 that Full Sail is hosting a Takeover pay-per-view. And, of course, it will be on WWE Network as we
Is there
mentioned.
going to be fans or fans?
There will probably be fans in attendance.
WWE fans? Or WWE
I don't-
Fake fans.
Fake fans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can they put Raw? Can they put Raw and SmackDown
That's a whole
fans?
nother.
Well,
I wonder if they're going to put the Raw and SmackDown people that want
I
to go.
doubt it.
I
cool,
don't
though.
know if you heard how
gosh.
upset the NXT people got.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
What?
say.
Yeah,
What? Do tell.
because
No, tell.
they filmed for about 3 straight days of 12 hours,
Oh, Jesus. You're kidding.
nonstop filming the next couple of weeks, apparently. They didn't give them much of a break. They barely let them sit down. And then after all those regular tapings, apparently they've actually already taped, sorry to ruin this for some people, but the Adam
dare
Cole Velveteen Dream match. And
So
they had
it's-
to like get their cars because it's some sort of like ring of car matches like they did that one time with JBL and Eddie or something, I think, or something like that.
Wow.
Oh, it was John Cena and Eddie.
I
Or
think I
John
remember
Cena,
that,
okay.
Huh. So this may not be a live pay-per-view.
Way to be a burst your
Great.
bubble or.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Reality check. No.
Yeah.
Total
And
Bell.
one
Total
last
Bellas.
thing,
Okay.
and one last thing before we go, rest in peace to deathmatch wrestler Denny Havoc, who passed away this week.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That was
Yeah.
That's another one. Condolences and thoughts to his family and friends, and to any fans he might have had out there too. So,
Yeah.
our Twitter account at @CCG_WrestleCast. Chat along with us. Next week we're going to be recapping NXT Takeover in your house, and we'll be previewing WWE Backlash, which thank God means Stomping Grounds is one and done. It's gone. We're not going to get Stomping Grounds again. We
I think you means we're going to have the greatest wrestling match ever.
Oh God.
What?
They are promoting Randy Orton
Yeah.
versus Edge as the greatest wrestling match
Oh,
ever.
jeez.
And I'm sorry, I don't remember their names being Samoa Joe or Kenta Kobashi. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry, Meltzer is
wait,
going to
it's
rate
not a-
this 19
It's not a
star.
once in a lifetime?
Which ended up being twice in a lifetime.
And Tommy, you know why it's only 19 stars and not 20? Because it's not at the Tokyo Dome.
Oh. Oh. Bye, Tommy. Bye, Tommy. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm interested though if this greatest match ever will take place in Rio.
Yes.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to tell my DVD story.
Okay.
Oh, no. Let's not do that.
Do it.
No, no,
it's
no.
2020. It's
Thank you
pandemonium.
everybody for
Do
watching the
whatever.
Countdown City WrestleCast.
We're all going crazy.
We look forward to having you next week. Spread the word on. Let us know your thoughts on the show. Let us know your thoughts on NXT Takeover in your house.
Yeah,
Thank
tell
you
that time
again.
that you managed Alyssa Flash and
I could totally tell that story.
All right.
Okay, no, go ahead.
Anyway, on the Skype call and on the video here, we got Tommy.
Thanks.
We got Mike.
thanks. Be good to each other, guys.
My beautiful wife, Tina.
Adios. Stay safe, guys.
And congrats, Mike and Tina. School year is
Oh, thank God.
kind of done.
Almost.
Almost done, yes.
Thursday, but close enough.
2 more days. 2 more days.
And I'm JC, and as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real. People are
People
fake.
are fake.
All right.
Latest.
Yeah.
So if you want to subscribe to the channel, click right here.
And if you want to watch more WrestleCast videos, I got 3 words for you. Click right here.